Hey guys, on today's video we're gonna cover everything you need to know in order to be able to hunt the new Desert Bighorn on the HUNTER Call of the Wild. Now guys, before starting the video, I just wanted to say that if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. We aren't too far from reaching 30,000 subscribers, and the only way to achieve it is with your support, so I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much. The Desert Bighorn is actually a completely new species because they are entirely different to the Rocky Mountain Bighorn. The model is different and their weight range is different. The only thing that is the same is the diamond score, because they still make diamond with a score of 196. Just as the Rocky Mountain Bighorn, the Desert Bighorn is a class 5 species that goes up to level 5 medium and is only present on Rancho del Arroyo. You know, the Rocky Mountain Bighorn is present on both Husky Ridge and Silver Ridge peaks, while the Desert Bighorn is only present here on Rancho. Well, at a first glance, the first thing I can notice is that the fur is quite shorter compared to the Rocky Mountain Bighorn. Which makes sense because, yeah, here we're pretty much on the desert and it wouldn't make sense to have such a long fur as they have on Silver Ridge peaks and Husky Ridge. So yeah, that is the first difference. Now the second, I'm not sure if the body is different. Maybe. They definitely look slimmer. They definitely look skinnier, that's what I mean. And maybe the texture on the horns is also slightly different, maybe not. But yeah, these guys are quite different to the Rocky Mountain Bighorn. I mean, you can still see it is a bighorn, but just the fact the fur is shorter makes him look a lot different. I love him. The weight is also different because these guys don't get as heavy as the Rocky Mountain Bighorns, and the only thing that I believe is exactly the same is the diamond score, because 196.93 is the diamond score on these ones, and I believe the diamond score in the Rocky Mountain Bighorn was 196.64. So yeah, it's also slightly different perhaps. That's nice. Well, there is a decent bighorn right there. Yep, look at the horns. It is only level 4 with a weight estimate of 80 to 103 kilos. Is that the max estimate? I doubt it because his trophy estimate only goes up to 182, which is far from the diamond score. So this may not be a max estimate, but it's still big. He's a 10 if okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna shoot it because I wanna see the horns. And I wanna compare them with the horns of the Rocky Mountain Bighorn. Let's shoot it there. Super simple shot, he's going down. Here we have it, guys. Are the horns different? Yeah, I need to see a side-by-side comparison in order to be able to tell. So we'll do right now, after we claim this one. It is a gray 4 type, and as you can see it is only 158.79, so very far from diamond. This was not a max estimate, definitely not. Yeah, I guess the max estimate will be like 103 kilos to 150, something like that. We need to find the max estimate. Ooh, that one right there is massive. Ooh, 103 to 127 kilos, so yeah, that's the max estimate. The max weight for these guys is 127 kilos. And this guy, his top estimate only goes up to 178, so again, far from diamond, but we're definitely gonna shoot it. He's roughly 300 meters out. The angle is terrible, but we can definitely reach it long there. So let's zero for 300, and let's go for it. That was a single long. I feel the horns are actually different, guys. Still not sure, I feel they are maybe lighter in color. Yeah, this guy is huge, 165.33, far from the diamond score, but definitely way bigger than the last one. And our biggest Desert Bighorn so far, it is nice to see. And here we have a side-by-side comparison. I mean, this one is a bigger level 4 right here. Yeah, maybe the horns are exactly the same. As you can see, the eyes are also exactly the same, the fur is way shorter, and they look way skinnier. So yeah, the difference is definitely big enough to consider it an entire new species. Subspecies, I mean. Very nice, they look amazing. Now, when it comes to locations, the Desert Bighorn is present on many different areas, which actually happen to be the exact same locations where the Rocky Mountain Bighorn was present before the update, here on Rancho. Essentially, around the right side of the map. All around here, including every single of these lakes. For example, during their drink time, which is from 1100 to 1400, it is possible to find them down here, drinking. Also right here on these lakes. Right here on this lake, only on this part. Also on this lake, mainly on the right part. And of course, up here on these two lakes and on this big lake, which, I mean, in my opinion, is the single best location, not only for bighorn, but also for mule deer. It's just fantastic. So what I would recommend you guys, if you wanna grind these guys, is to focus on these lakes. Focus on these lakes and take this map as reference. For example, let's take a look at this lake, right here. As I said earlier, this lake is in my opinion the single best location where it's possible to hunt this species, the single best lake, because it is loaded. Look, There are lots of bighorns, lots of zones all around the lake, so it is a perfect place to grind, and also for mule deer and whitetail, I believe. Now guys, another thing that is important to consider, especially if you plan to grind these bighorns, is that the desert bighorn, just as the majority of the species, has normal herd respawning mechanics, which means that if you kill a male from a herd, it will typically respawn on the same herd. Not always, it may respawn on a different herd, but they will normally respawn on the exact same herd. When it comes to herd management, what I would suggest you is to kill all the level 3s, level 4s and level 5s you see, and leave the level 2s and the level 1s. These species can be trickier to herd manage than the majority of the species because, I mean, they have herds, but most of the herds are only like 2, 3, 4 individuals, so a great percentage of the bighorns are gonna be solos, and ultimately what will matter is just the amount of zones you manage to check around all these lakes. So make sure to place as many tents as possible around every single of the locations where these bighorns can drink, maybe excluding this southern coast. Yeah, this place down here can be quite tricky to grind, so what I would suggest you is to focus mainly on the central lakes and on these ponds over here. Oh my gosh, level 5 right there. Level 5, Desert Bighorn shape. That is a big boy, 171 to 203 estimate. Is it gonna make it? I have no idea. There's no way to know, but just look at the size of the horns. You know, these guys seem to be actually smaller in size to the Rocky Mountain Bighorn, so the horns, being pretty much the same size as the diamonds on the Rocky Mountain Bighorn, look bigger on these guys. Man, I really hope this will be our first diamond, but I don't know. It's gonna be close. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna try to get close to it. You know, it's not gonna be easy here because if we try to arrive from that side, then the wind will be blowing directly towards this bighorn and it's probably gonna spook. So we don't have many options here. And, I mean, we could try to arrive from that side, but look at how far it is. This lake is very big, and yeah, this is actually another of the locations where I would really recommend you placing tents if your goal is to grind this bighorn. So I think what we're gonna have to do in this case is simply to drop it from here. We don't have many options. It's gonna be hard to approach it, so yeah, let's simply drop him here using the rifle. He's like 200 meters out, so we're gonna zero for 150, and we're gonna aim just slightly higher. Right there. Should be good. Yep. Our first level 5 Desert Bighorn, hopefully our first ammo. Yeah, the horns are exactly the same as on the Rocky Mountain Bighorn, so the main difference is just the body, but that is enough to make a huge difference. So time to see a score, guys. Will this be our first time on Desert Bighorn, or is it gonna troll us? I don't know, I think it's a 50-50 chance. Let's see. And it made it. 198.57. Barely. Very nice. I'm not gonna tax it just yet. We're gonna save it because I don't wanna spend all my money on this guy, taxing this guy. So yeah, that is a very nice diamond right there. The horns may be exactly the same, but as I said, the fur is way shorter and the body is way skinnier, maybe even the model is smaller, which makes the horns just look even more massive. Look at that. That's a beauty.